Howdy toddy everybody, this is Tommy with Colonel Rev Scale Models coming at you with my final reveal for the Deformed Cartoon Group Build 2024 that Papa Dan and I are hosting. I want to thank all of those that have gotten involved, posted SART videos. A lot have already finished, which is great. Let's see, the 30th, which is Monday, that is the official end. But again, if you get started and you don't make the deadline, that's fine, as long as you post a final whenever you get around to it. I did get both of my builds finished, the Meng Soviet bomber and the Panzer III Meng War Toons tank. So I'm going to get you over to the booth and see what we finished. And again, thanks everybody for participating. We're definitely going to do it next year. We've already got a lot of people saying that they're going to join next year. I think we had about 20 that started this year, so that was right up there where we thought we could get to. And we'll get back to hopefully numbers that we had prior to that, where we had 30 plus joining. So again, thanks to everybody, and I'm going to turn you over to the videos, and then I'll put some still pictures at the end. Okay, thanks a lot, and as always, howdy toddy and God bless. Okay, so here is the Meng Kids TU Tupolev 2 bomber, Russian bomber from World War II. It's got a interesting history, so if you ever want to go and read about it, it's pretty interesting how it all came to development. But on with the kit, it went together really well. You know, these kits are press fit, so everything is pretty tight. And then if you throw a few layers of paint, you got to account for that. So some of the holes I kind of opened up a little bit with a metal file, just so that I could push them all together. I didn't go with the livery, the paint scheme that's on the box art, which is just the green on top and the kind of almost like an egg, robin's egg blue on the actual underneath. So what I did, I saw a picture online that had this camo color scheme. It's a tan, a gray, and a green. So I did that using silly putty. I put the kit comes with stickers, like many of them do, instead of decals. So I didn't want to use those. So I went into my spares with a sheet of Russian stars. Got some that were about the same size, just a basic red star. And then I got the 71. I just found some spare numbers from car kits that were about the same size as the other one that came with the kit, and used those. So that's what I did. The paint, didn't use any primer on this actually. I just kind of used a can of Model Master, what is it, dark tan that I had. That's a rattle can. I put that down as the base coat on top, and I sprayed underneath directly on the bare plastic with XF, to me is XF23 light blue. I airbrushed it on. And then for the colors on top, you know, using the silly putty to develop my patterns, I use XF23 deep green, and I used XF24 dark gray to come up with the color scheme. The only other modifications that I had there's underneath here, there's a second gun, like you see at the back of the canopy. In the back, so aiming back for the rear gunners, there's the similar gun that you see right there is also directly underneath here, right in front of the tail wheel, and it didn't fit right. For some reason, when you pushed it in, the hole wasn't big enough, so I had to enlarge the hole in the clear part, and then it was shaped wrong, so I had to file off and cut off some plastic just to make it fit in there, and then I put a little bit of white glue in there to keep it in place. Other than that, everything went together fine. With this color scheme, I did paint the spinners the same color that matched the continuing color scheme there, as opposed to just using red ones, which was on the box art with the solid green. So that's my TU2 bomber. So I think it turned out pretty well. Still a little cartoonish looking, like it should be. It's simply just coated with flat clear. The first time I used a matte clear, it kind of frosted on me, but it turned out okay once I went and got some Mr. Hobby flat clear from Hobby Lobby, and resprayed it, and it actually went over the frosting pretty well and cleared it all up. So no damage really done. So other than that, everything went together well, so I'm pretty pleased with it. All right, so here is the Meng World War II's German medium tank, the Panzer III. Um, it's lighter than what it looks again on camera. What I did take the kit, which is molded in like that German gray color, like a dark gray, more like a medium gray. And then I base coated it black, and then I went back over it with the XF24 dark gray that I used with the plane. And then I used the XF85 rubber black for the road wheels, and then I did some dry brushing with XF16 flat aluminum. Also, I went over most of the model, everything with the Vallejo model wash for rust effects. It's the dark rust. So it actually turned out to kind of have this kind of a steampunk kind of look, if you know what that looks like. I did detail brush like the toe chains, and tried to weather, which is not really showing up here in the camera, but hopefully you'll see in some of the pictures. The tracks are dry brushed. I used a dry brush that I got offline. If you'll see here, it's got a stiff, kind of a sturdy brush. This came in a set of like 5 all the way up to a brush that's about almost an inch wide, round. I just saw them online looking for something else and just picked them up, and so far I like it pretty well. Luckily it doesn't like come apart when you're dry brushing, but getting a lot of reflection here, even though it's flat coated. Again, I use that Hobby, Mr. Hobby flat clear, which I like. It seems to go well over this Tamiya paint. So it looks a lot darker regardless of how much light I have here. I put the 4 little decals that came with it. These are actually water slides. I put those on, and then I went back, like you see here, I went back and kind of scraped them off as though it's kind of worn, and then touched up that part that was missing with like an undercoat, a little dabbing of the flat aluminum to make it look like the paint has completely rubbed off. I didn't go through and put on any like gunshots or shell markings or holes or anything like that it might have taken in battle, and I didn't really dust it up or dirty it up. I'm assuming this could be from the French front or the Russian front, but it almost has, with that kind of bronzy undertone, it almost looks like it was burned in a way. You have the exhaust back here, a tank, I guess. And then these are all, you put these pieces on, and then you have the armor, the cladding that goes on the outside, which was a booger bear to get on, but once you got it on, it stays pretty snug in place. The tracks, one of the tracks was kind of warped and twisted, so I just put it into some, not boiling water, not steaming water, but just kind of hot water, and let them sit in there for a little while, and they kind of just went back into shape. And then when I took them out, and I kind of stretched them apart with my thumb and my forefinger, and kind of pulled them apart where it just made like a long loop, and then let them cool, and they stayed and worked out fine. The tracks will roll because the wheels will roll, and they do have this nice little groove along the side that grabs above the road wheel tire and holds it in place. So you could technically play with it, I guess. The tank, the turret does turn. I did drill out this side machine gun, this lower machine, I drilled those out with the little pin vise, like the electrician ones that kind of go, the little finger one, the little finger drills, and you just kind of go from the smallest and keep stepping up to bigger and bigger. There are some molded in tools that you can't really see here. There is tools for putting on the track, and there's like an axe, and this one actually doesn't have a shovel, which is interesting. And then this top will open and close if you want to keep it open. I've just left it closed. But like I said, it's a good little kit. It's actually a lot of little fiddly bits, all these little pieces, all of this, all these little handles, everything is a tiny, tiny piece. So there's a lot of parts to this one. These are 2-piece, everything under there. It's just a lot of small parts. So you got to really take your time with them. Things go flying, that kind of stuff. So luckily, knock on wood, I didn't lose any parts to this one like I have in the past. And then the cladding, it's got a decent pattern on it. I know you can't really see it now, but hopefully you can see that in the photographs to follow. And then it has some extra spare track here, and it's got some molded in right here and here on the other side. So it's a good little kit, you know, as far as the Panzer III goes. It was not much of a little tank, which is why it's got some of the armor. So it didn't make it all the way through the war for the most part. They were kind of used up in the beginning until things like the 4 and the Panther and the King started coming out and being a little bit more useful. This one has, this was the 3 with the short barrel. There was one that came out with a little bit longer barrel, a little bit for a little bit more powerful gun. But this is my Panzer III. And like I said, it looks much better in the photographs. Kind of disappointed in my new camera phone here. I thought it would look a little bit better. And the decal here didn't really turn out like I wanted it to, but it's okay. So this is the little Meng tank. So hope you like it.